wake me up to another good morning, time to go. Got that smile upon my face, 'cause there's excitement in the chase, this I know. Yeah, I'm going for the ride and find myself, I am alive, and I soar. Still I run toward the wind and let the challenge draw me in, 'cause I want more. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure.
Hi, it's the boy Abundan. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to invite all of you to listen in, eavesdrop, watch my conversation with MJ Racadio on Blogtalk. That's going to be exciting. Conversations happening early in the morning. Where we go, what we talk about is certainly exciting. Be part of it, eavesdrop. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, universe. I'm your host, MJ Racadio, and you're watching Blog Talk Hollywood Live. Yes, welcome November. Wow, it's what, 2 more months before the end of the year, you guys, and holidays is just all over the place. And now, our special guest, he's happened to be an award-winning actor, and he's done so many great things in Hollywood. You've seen him in, actually, he has up and coming projects. He's currently on Sweet Tooth and Buzz Cut. And we are going to pick his brain tonight. Yes. And he's proud to be a father as well. So please welcome to our show award winning actor Carlin James. Hi, Carlin.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you so much for being in the show. It's amazing that I get to talk to you one on one, not just on the red carpet.
Oh, right. Long overdue, too.
Yes, yes, long overdue, and absolutely. And how is that for you? That I know you're still currently on strike. What I know you're doing some indie. How is that like affecting you?
Um, I mean, it's slowed down a lot. I mean, luckily I do a little bit of voiceover, so that contract is a separate contract than the AMPTP one. So I'm still allowed to do some voiceover.
Yes, that's awesome.
And I I'm very lucky though, because I know a lot of people don't have that ability or like that opportunity to work in that area. But overall, it's been really slow. Yeah, and I know once it picks up, it's gonna be crazy. But it's at the same time, it's Filipino American History Month, and there's a lot of things going on. So I'm able to enjoy it, because I know if we weren't on strike, I probably wouldn't be able to go to the things I.
Absolutely. The fact that despite of the double strike, you kind of now it's only single strike because WGA they got their deal, and we're hoping and praying that the SAG will get it very soon.
Yeah.
And having said that, you're working on these two projects. I missed the Buzz Cut. Talk about the Buzz Cut because I was invited to see that film. Can you elaborate it a little bit, the Buzz Cut?
Yeah, sure. So there's a new small group of called A Bunch of Savages, and it's really talented group of directors, a writer, producer, and they pretty much awarded they had a screenplay contest for a short film, and they were giving a grant out. But in that, with that grant, it had to be like Filipino focused, you know. And they had to turn over the script really fast, from script to screen, in like about a month, I believe. So
I saw this picture. Is this from the this behind the scene?
yeah, it is. So, this it takes place in 2011, 2012, actually, I believe, in Union City in the Bay Area. So
Hmm.
it's in the middle of the strike for the renaming of a middle school, that ended up it eventually became renamed the Leong Veracruz Middle School. Um, yeah, so in the midst of that protest, a boy stumbles into a barber shop, and he needs a change because he's going through something. I don't want to like spoil it because it's going to hit the festival.
Yeah, I wanna request a screening on that one. I'm very excited. It's nice that you are getting involved with this indie to really showcase of who you are as Filipino American. How is that experience for you?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I feel like well, just doing it in general, I was really drawn to it because I felt like I started to have much more free time on my hands, and I started getting that creative itch. And I was going to events, you know, social mixers and stuff, like to stay close to the industry while we're on strike. But I felt like I wasn't really doing anything with my time. So once I saw the casting notice for it, I saw a role that fit me, and I was like, this is a good opportunity to be able to like exercise those muscles again and then showcase it in front of the community. So I reached out, and then they requested a tape. And yeah, so I got to film it real quick, and then it just screened at the art center about well, like last weekend. Yeah, last Friday.
Yes, absolutely. And that's amazing. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank
And on the top of that, not only doing great things in Hollywood, and you happen to be an award-winning actor, and I stumble upon your IMDb. Oh my gosh, you're best actor in lead role, Turner Riss. Wow.
you. That's
Can you
funny.
can you share with that
Yeah,
experience with
that was the first um, real film I ever did, and it was a long time ago, and I was really
and you
green.
won an award.
Yeah, but like I don't know, I was just such a young actor, and I tried my hardest, and it was a pretty good flick for. I mean, I give more props to the director than I would take for myself, you know. But I was really young and new, so I'm even surprised I won that. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's great. I mean, at such a young age, how did you really portray the role here? Did you watch a previous film, and who was your inspiration?
Well, you know what? I hadn't taken many classes, so I was very raw, and I think I just had like this the I just had a love for dramatic films, especially like young Leonardo DiCaprio films. I really liked those hard dramas like Basketball Diaries, those gritty ones. So yeah, I felt like I could do it, and I mean, I guess I did, but I still watch it back and I kind of cringe because again, I was so fresh and I should have taken more classes. But I think when you come into it and you're so passionate and you're young, you're like, I don't need classes. I have the will and the want and to do it. But I mean, me, like anybody, like me playing myself in anything, if the other version of me took classes and one version didn't, the one that took classes would always win. The one that practiced would always be better, a better version of itself, of myself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, I just saw Killers of the Flower Moon. That was really 3.5 hour. I stayed.
yeah,
I shot around 4 p.m. So it's really interesting. I think you're going to that route, right? In more dramatic kind of
yeah. I think that's kind of been my bread and butter. Like I've always had those roles, but I mean, I felt like I was always good at that. But because of that, I've been really drawn from at least from a recreational point to like comedy, like just because
yeah.
it's different and you realize how technical it can be and how hard it is. But yeah, I think drama is where it's at as far as like making a career out of it right now. So
Amazing. Before we talk about your role in Sweet Tooth, talk about your role as a dad.
uh,
Share us.
yeah, so I have a little boy, um, and he takes up most of my life. Uh, it's funny how it just zooms to the big version. But yeah, no, I have a little boy, and I'm very lucky, and I think he's a blessing in that he also aged me up because he's a pandemic baby. So
Hmm.
um, prior to the pandemic, I was really me and my wife were really kind of like party animals in a way. And so when the pandemic occurred and he started, like when he came, we were like we didn't have any FOMO. We weren't missing out on anything because not a lot was going on. But when he
Hmm.
came, we're not sleeping a lot, and he teaches you a lot about yourself, or like kids do. So and they really humble you. So I had my ego was much bigger before, and now I don't like he's the boss, so I do what he says.
That's good. That's pretty good. That's amazing that you were able to share that. And I know, what lesson did you learn being a dad?
Patience, yeah, I think patience is number one. Also, that it's much better to be a good person. Like when I was growing up, my parents would always say, no matter what happens, we just want you to be a good person. We just want you to be a good person. And I was like, that's the weakness. I was like, when I was a teen, I was like, that's where they were weak because they should have taught me to be successful, you know?
Mhm.
But now that I'm a parent, I'm like, no, it really is about being a good person because if you put good out there, you get good back and and that brings happiness. So you can be there's so many successful people out there who have all the money in the world and they can't enjoy their money because they're too busy trying to make more of it, but they never have enough. And so I think if you teach someone to be a good person, one, I'm pretty sure their lifespan will just extend, because they don't mess around with the stuff they're not supposed to, and they give good out and they get good back. And so more than anything, I have a little boy and I want him to be safe and I want him to be happy. And I think being a good person will bring that about.
I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carlin. That's amazing that you get to share that to all our viewers out there. But before we get to Sweet Tooth, we want them to watch this trailer.
What do you got?
All I'm saying is you better promote you this time.
I am so close to getting it. I can feel it.
What has gone into you, Ty?
I dedicated my life to this company. I ate shit, I shut my mouth, and I just worked. My algorithms made him millions. I earned that promotion.
Well, maybe you should just work harder.
A Sweet Tooth, yes, directed by Mike Talplacido. How is it? How did you get this role? This is really interesting.
Well, it's actually he's an executive producer on it, and it was directed by Presley Paras. But
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, very talented. Um, how did I get it? Oh, Presley reached out to me on IG, on Instagram. Actually, he reached out to our friend AJ Calamay, who's an editor, and AJ kind of connected us. And
The
yeah,
guy from Lumpia.
from Lumpia, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, he was also an editor for another network TV show I won't name, but you know,
Hmm.
he's pretty good at his job. So, but yeah, he hooked us up. We we met up. I read the script. We talked story. I really like what he had to say, and we really vibed. So, and yeah, that's another thing about becoming a dad, right? What it made me want to do is I was doing a lot of roles where I played a lot younger because I guess I photograph or on camera I look a lot younger. Maybe not that picture, but yeah, I definitely that's where I made my money. You know what I mean? Where I made my career was playing a young character. And in this Sweet Tooth, I got to play a character who, yeah, had vulnerabilities of a young man, but then towards the end, he really comes into his own, and I really like that. Like finally getting to play characters who get to show that they have agency, you know, and in their. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's juicy. So
Yes, yes. And you know what? I believe it got selected at the Film Creative Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, so it'll. I think this will have released by then. This podcast or Blogtalk will, but it'll be Saturday, 3:30.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it. I'm very excited. I'm going to be at the Film Creative for 3 days.
mm,
And it's really exciting that finally Filipino Americans owns film festival. It's amazing.
yeah,
Now,
totally.
having said that, it's gonna also premiere in Film Quest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the world premiere is at Film Quest in
Mhm.
Utah, and then the LA premiere is going to be at Film Creative Film
Film
Fest.
Creative. Yeah, the good thing about that is I got nothing to do with the selections. We have a jury and selection committee. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what can you say that this is really happening about the Filipino cinema renaissance, not just for the Philippines, but also here in Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, I love it because I'm a Filipino American, you know, in the business at this time. So we're very lucky, and I think we owe it a lot to the people who came before us. You know, like there's I don't want to name specific names because I don't want to leave anyone out, but I'm lucky enough to know a few of the older cats who've been around longer than me, and they've been able to give me advice when I needed it and really help me along the way. And I see the success doesn't always come, you know, when you're younger, but they're older and now they're getting their series regulars and they're working 100+ episodes, you know, and then you really stick it out. And I think that's the name of the game in this business is you just have to stick it out, right? I mean,
Yeah, and I see you more in the scene. I saw you at the Film Creative Film Festival launch. I saw you at Tremendous. I saw you in a different organization. It's nice. How do you? I know you have to balance your schedule now. You're also doing voiceover. You're doing so. Your last two films, is this during pandemic or post pandemic? The Sweet Tooth and Buzzcut.
oh, both this year. Yeah. So Buzzcut was a quick turnaround, right? So I auditioned in mid September. We shot it one day, really a lot in one day, October 1st.
Wow.
Yeah, a 10-minute flick. And then it screened on the 27th, October 27th. And then A Sweet Tooth we filmed in, I want to say March or April. And yeah, I mean, it's not even, I want to, as far as I knew, as far as this past weekend, it's not even fully finished. Like it just got colored, and they're finishing the score right now. But Film Quest and Philam Creative Film Fest, they were only submitted to it because it's like, hey, let's try it out. Let's get it out there. So this is just like dipping the toe in the water. And thank God for Philam Creative Film Fest, because it's it was a very late entry, so we're not awards eligible. We're just showcasing. But to get in is awesome. It's an honor, especially being the first one.
Yeah, and we have about, I believe it's hundreds, about 300 submissions.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's amazing, and it's going to be an amazing inaugural and history in the making. So, what piece of advice can you provide for those who, dreaming to make it and to break into Hollywood? Share us.
Piece of advice. I mean, I think the number one is pretty obvious. It's well, I said it before. Just stick it out. And how many ways can this be said? So I used to run into celebrities all the time, working in like Sherman Oaks or in La Cañada at an old restaurant, and I would always see actors I would know, and I would respectfully approach them when they weren't busy and say, "Hey, what one piece of advice, if you could give your younger self, would you give?" And they all said the same thing. Every single one said, "Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop." And I would add, I would add, like, don't stop trying to improve. You don't know it all. Even if you think you know it all, you can always learn more, and I think that goes with age, right? So if you stick it out, you continue to take classes, you put the reps in, you never know. If I quit today, maybe tomorrow is the day I booked the big job, but I'm never going to know if I just stop. And so you just really have to want it. Because also, like, our acting classes, teachers have always said, if there's anything in this world you'd rather do, go and do that instead. Because acting is tough and it's rough and it's not for everybody. But if it is for you and it's the only thing you can and want to do, then you have to do it. So that's the best piece of advice I can give is just like tough it through, work hard, and just keep learning. Like,
Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carlin. And of course, I want to ask this. What is your favorite Filipino food?
oh geez, it's not a Filipino podcast if you don't talk about Filipino food, huh?
It's a given, yes.
I know. Well, Jesus, I'm thinking about like 15 different things right now, but I'd say if I had one dish, kare kare, probably.
Oh my gosh, that's also
It
my
has to be
favorite.
bagoong. It has to be bagoong. If there's no bagoong, then
It's not complete. That is a perfect match. It's if they don't know bagoong with our audience, it's actually the shrimp paste.
yeah,
Yes,
it just
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Carlin. And yes, and I know you're gonna go far, and I know you've done so many great things. We cannot just mention it because we are also in solidarity with the SAG. And I applauded you with all your amazing accomplishments. And you're gonna do more. And the way I see it now that you're actually an award-winning actor, that you can, it's out there. It's
Yeah,
amazing. It's great. And yeah, as they say in Tagalog, mabuhay ka,
yeah.
meaning long live. Yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. I can say, um, I because that's not on strike. It's not out yet, but I'll be recurring on a cartoon on Nickelodeon next year as a original character or as a as my own character. And yeah, I booked a few projects right before. I shot few projects
Mhm.
right before the strike. So as soon as this is over, I can announce, and maybe I can come back in next year and we can talk about
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely, definitely, Carlin. You are more than welcome to come back in the show. Yes,
Well, thank
this
you so
is
much for having me.
yes, this is for Film Hollywood platform. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for being in the show.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Take
you,
care.
Carlin. I'll put you in the lobby. Yes. There you have it, you guys. Award-winning actor Carlin James, and he's just getting started in the industry. His film just got selected at the Film Creative Film Festival. It's gonna play this Saturday, and they're gonna showcase A Sweet Tooth, and also recently in the buzz cut a short film. Yes, so thank you so much. Make sure to follow his social media and check out Carlin James. Yes. Thank you so much for being the show. Well, thank you so much, Audrey Leona, for my hair and Ranges Optical for my eyewear. Thank you so much, Dr. Tess Mauricio, America's favorite dermatologist, for my vampire facial. Then also, shout out to Amiel Noble of Noble Creations. Check out his website at noblecreationsonline.com. And shout out to the Film Creative family. Yes. Until next time, I'm your host, MJ Racadio, and you're watching Blog Talk Hollywood Live. Bye, guys.